Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hook Tensions. So we are recording in different places. My kitchen for right now. I've done it before. I would normally be recording in front of the tension hub like normal, but I have a light out in my garage because dad life, adult life. I don't know. I'm trying to get that replaced, and we'll be recording back out there hopefully pretty soon. But anyway, Revice this week was really really good. Episode 33. Last episode was kind of but I knew it was pushing forward what we were going to get in 33, and 33 really delivered for the most part. The main focus of it is still on Aguilera and Sakura. Sakura saves Aguilera from being attacked by what's his name? By Ikki. Jesus. And she even had told him before, like, I want to try to separate her from her demon form, like she deserves to live. And it's not made clear if Ikki was really trying to destroy her or if because I know that the what's it called, the Buried Rex form or whatever could separate the demon form out from the person, but I don't know if Thundergale does the same thing or not. Anyway, regardless, he diverts the attack, and she keeps Aguilera safe. And Aguilera's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And she's like, because you deserve to be like saved. I'm gonna separate you from your demon form. You deserve to have a life, blah blah blah. And of course, Aguilera runs away all angry like she has been for like the whole series. The episode is really mostly focused on Sakura, and I really like that. We get a lot of really good scenes with her talking to her family about Aguilera, and just kind of saying like she deserves a chance. Like she's a human just like the rest of us. Tamaki got a chance. Why doesn't she deserve a chance? And yes, I know what you're gonna say. Like, oh, as dead man's, they did a lot of really bad stuff and they hurt people and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, but like they're trying to somewhat reform and recant for what they did, so they should be given a chance. I kind of like this, that they're both aren't going to be like, oh, now we're riders after we were monsters. Now we're riders, just like Chase and Drive, or Alan in Ghost, even though he wasn't a monster, but still he was like on the monster side and then became a rider and all that. That's a decent storyline, but I think one thing that kind of happens in the rider fandom in general is we get used to how certain storylines are done, and when a show comes around and changes things up and makes things a little different or unique from what we're comfortable with, we get upset about it. And I think that's, I say we, but not me. I'm all for change and seeing things unique and stuff like that. So it doesn't bother me that they're not, at least for as far as we know, not going to be just, oh, we're writers now. They just are themselves. But anyway, so she eventually meets back up with Aguilera and shows her, stop, like, let's hang out. Let's have some fun. She's like, what? And so they have like this like date, and it's like super lesbian vibes, and it's super like sweet and cute, and they're just like having a good time together. They like go to an amusement park and they get some food and they're playing and just like having a good time. She's basically trying to show her that like you can have a life outside of this whole thing being, a kaijin or a monster or a dead man's whatever. At the same time, we also get poor Daiji getting shafted in another goofy storyline where he's still trying to figure out what's going on with Kaishi. They saw the footage of him taking the girl into his office or whatever, the one random scientist lady that we've got nothing on and we're supposed to care about and is like needlessly sexy for no reason. Not that like, I'm not trying to say like physically she's like shouldn't be that pretty, but like, does she need to have like the shots of like her legs and other? It's weird. It's goofy. That's how they do things in Japan sometimes. It's not all the time. Sometimes, not all the time. Won't blanket statement that. I don't want to get any hate. But and so he reveals to her that he is a person who had been following Gifu for a while, and he doesn't really say much about who he is other than he's like a vassal for Lord Gifu and blah blah blah, and have been trying to like basically push human evolution since the beginning of time and whatever. And it's cool and all, but we've not seen him do anything, so he just comes off as this like goofy, snidely whiplash ass fucking villain. And he's not a threat to me. Like, yeah, his goofy like vagina Gifu hand is interesting, I guess. But like she ends up cutting open, I'm sorry, the like wrist things he has on her, like the wrist restraints. And she gets out and she kind of pushes him out of the way. I think she actually punched him or something. Gets out of the way for a moment and grabs like a gun and shoots it at him. And he blocks it with his hand and it hits his head and it doesn't do anything. So I absolutely, and this isn't just Toku, I absolutely despise seemingly invincible enemies in anything. The worst example of it to me This is going to kind of show my age and why the hell do I watch this, because I'm not really the demographic for it. Teen Wolf. The Teen Wolf show on MTV had a season where they did this thing called the Dread Doctors. And it was really annoying because like for almost the entire season, they just like anything that would come at them, any of like the strongest creatures they had in that show to fight these enemies, they would just single-handedly whoop their ass every time. And it got really fucking boring and old. It's like, okay, we're fighting a wall, I guess. We're fighting God. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? And so it's starting to get that way with Akaishi. I've never really enjoyed him being in the show at all. I think that like they really needed to do a better job establishing him even existing. And secondly, as a threat earlier, like flashes of him, you know, here and there with the Dead Man's. Then when he comes up as part of Phoenix, it's like, oh shit, we've seen him before, but he just kind of came out of nowhere and he's like, I'm evil, meh. And it's like, nobody fucking cares, dude. So anyway, he like knocks her out, whatever, and then Vale comes through, and Vale is given his full physical form by Gifu. So now Vale is fully physically demon out there doing his thing, right? Daiji comes rushing in to find out what's going on. He gets in there and he's like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And Daiji gets his ass kicked also. And then he doesn't kill Daiji, which is really weird. Like, I didn't want him to, but you would think Daiji's technically a threat along with his brother and sister. So why would he not take one of them out so that the others are, like, affected by that? Like, if you're a smart villain, wouldn't you do that? Like, I'm not wishing death on Daiji, but I mean, that's just really goofy. Like, if he had the chance, he should have killed Daiji, unless he has some plans to, like, make him a vessel for Gifu or some stupid shit. But, yeah. It leads into an issue with Daiji that I have, that, like, I enjoy his character, and I think he's a decent secondary writer, but I don't think they really, truly... To me, it seems like they struggled a bit thinking far, kind of planning out what they were going to do with him for his arc. His connection with Kagero was adversarial at best and nothing more. All of a sudden they have their fight where it's live versus evil, and he defeats him, and we're supposed to like feel bad for Kagero, but why would we? Because he's been a psychopath since the beginning. And the only time he has ever been decent is when he would try to save Sakura because she gave him fucking spicy curry at one point, and that was it. So like, I don't like it. It really makes me upset because like most secondary writers, even Saber, which I don't really like Kamen Rider Saber myself, but Blades is Rintaro is an amazing secondary writer, and I really like his character arc and his characterization in general. But Daiji's really getting the shaft, and I really hope these next few episodes leading up to, you know, the end of the show, like, redeem him, I guess you could say, story-wise. But anyway, so that's all going on in the background. Aguilera and Sakura finally have their fight, and at one point, Vice actually goes into her mind to, like, find out where Lovekov is, because they've been having connection problems and whatever. And he finds her little room in her mind, and he goes in, and it's like this cutesy little room, and she has like these headphones on, because, you know, she has the giant head, a big plush cobra snake little baby thing, and he's like, oh, what's this? And he takes it off her to listen to it, and it's like super loud, like dun 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 dun, dun like screamo music, because she's mad about Sakura being like not being as strong as she should be. And so he's trying to convince her to come out, and she won't. She's like, Sakura's, you know, not worth my time, blah blah blah. And so Sakura and Aguilera fight. During the fight, the one weird weekend boy, and then Tamaki and what's it called? George eventually are there as well. At one point, Tamaki has like a back and forth with Aguilera saying like, you know, I do really care about you. I want you to be safe. I want you to be happy. That's why we're trying to do this. We're trying to separate you from your demon form. We want you to have a life, blah, blah, blah. And it made it more clear in this episode that Tamaki's not like in love with Aguilera. He just really respects her as a friend and wants her to be happy. And I like that, because in the past episodes and like arc leading up to this, it felt like he was like, oh, Aguilera-sama, oh, like he just like wanted to like be with her. But I think it's less that and more of like she was like his first friend he made in the Dead Man's or whatever, who brought him into it. And so he's always seen her as like a pedestal, or not pedestal, a foundation or like a rock to lean on. And now that that is all gone and Gifu betrayed her and everything, he wants to be that for her. And that's awesome. I really like that for his arc. So George comes through and throws her the Shubil V-stamp. So we, last episode, she talked about wanting to strengthen the Libera driver to be able to separate demon form out. And of course, Weekend has, you know, very limited resources, said they can repair the driver, but they can't really do that. And she was really upset. She doesn't want to have to kill Aguilera. And so, kind of find out, Masaru Karazaki? Yeah, so Daddy Karazaki contacted George and said, is there any way that you can help? All we have the resources for here is to fix the driver. What can you do? Let me work on it. He created the shoe bill V-stamp for that. So he throws it to her, V-stamp for that. Throws it to her, she activates it, and it turns Lovekov into a scythe. It's actually just a repainted, kind of remolded scythe of the one from Fighting Jackal that Yaba used in 01, kind of. But still, so, and that has the power in that scythe. I'm guessing that's what she's going to use from now on, which is super cool. I love seeing scythes as weapons in anything, and I'm really happy that it's going to be like her primary like weapon form that she uses. Restyle, whatever it's called. And she actually ends up separating her out from her demon form. She has this big heart-to-heart with her where she says, Aguilera, I want you to know, because she says, she thinks she's going to get destroyed, and she tells Sakura, I loved you, basically, that she was in love with her. And it's pretty clear throughout the whole show that they had sort of like a thing going on. Like, Sakura didn't really want to believe it, but I feel like she like sort of started like feeling the same way, and I think she does now too, clearly. She hits her with the scythe, and it goes to them as humans for a minute, talking in like this white space or whatever. And she says, even though I have, DNA from Gifu, who we know is like the epitome of evil and everything, that doesn't mean that I can't try to help people. Even you, Aguilera, I want to help you. So she, finishing attack, destroys her demon form, and separates her out, and she's good. And she like has this whole heart-to-heart with her, saying how much she cares about her and wants her to be happy, and that, Aguilera says, I do too, and they kind of embrace, and it's pretty much hinted at that, yeah, they're like super best friends / clearly together. And I think Sakura really got this awesome storyline because the writer actually, originally, like I've talked about before, wanted the main writer in Revice to be a female. So then he didn't get his chance, but he did get to have Sakura in there. So I think that's why Sakura has been so well written up to this point. I'm hoping that they continue this trend and that she still continues to be well written with her dialogue, with her storylines, whatever. Aguilera actually joins her at weekend, which I think is a pretty cool thing for her instead of just going to the bathhouse with Tamaki. So I really do enjoy that. We also get a fight for a little bit. Icky Vice fight Veil at one point. It's weird because they don't. It always is goofy to me when, like, I get why, when they don't just go straight to their strongest form to fight whatever new threat's coming at them. And I get it. They have to still show off the V-stamps and the toys and whatever. But it's kind of goofy to me because, like, they go through all their different V-stamp forms to fight Veil, and Veil is just kicking their ass because he has a couple of the V-stamps already stamped onto him. Akaishi actually did that, stamped him with some of the V-stamps to give him those powers. And they're doing their thing, and then they finally go to Thundergale, and that's what ends up kind of, like, putting it at a standstill. And he basically threatens him and says, let your dad know, like, there's nowhere he can hide. I won't find him. I'm going to take him out. And even if it means I have to rip through his own family, I'll do it. So I wonder what's going to happen with that, with the whole over demons thing. We've seen the suit now with that. It's like got bits of the demon suit along with the Veil suit kind of as one piece. There are a lot of people that think it's going to be Hiromi coming back triumphantly. Some people think it's going to be George coming back and doing it. Some people think it's going to be Genta. My personal thing that I saw that I thought would be pretty good, somebody mentioned online, what if they did a proto-birth thing where George comes back to be over demons and Hiromi gets to come back to be demons, and we get both of them. That would be really cool in my opinion. I'm sure George could figure out some way to like recreate the demons driver without having the part in it where it sucks away your life force and all that shit. So yeah, really interesting, really good episode. They really did dial out with the characterization, with the back and forth with Sakura and Aguilera and their relationship. And I love that we're getting this little like lesbian romance type of thing. Like, it's not like fully in your face, but it's like, come on, they clearly are like together. I don't think we'll ever get a kiss on screen. That would be pretty big if we did. But again, overall, fantastic episode. Completely unlike last week. I would give it I'd probably a 9.5 out of 10. I know last week I gave like a 7.5. It would probably get a full 10 if I didn't have the part with Daiji getting shafted in a storyline again. But with that in there, I just took it down by like a half a point. So 9.5 out of 10 personally. What did you think of this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about Daiji, Sakura and Aguilera, Shubil with the scythe, all of that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching, commenting, sharing, excuse me, getting over a cold and stuff, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. Probably said that already. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. But until next time, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you later. Bye, 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 bye.